Previsto. Yeah, hello everyone. Very good afternoon. Welcome back, everyone. I think my voice is audible to you people, and even chart is also accessible by each and every person. Please confirm me that whether you are able to hear me, and also please check with the voice, guys. It is clear for you or not? Everyone, please try to reply in the chat box so that we will get a good connection between us. If I got few responses, I think it's my voice is clear to everyone, right? Yeah, that's great. Yes. So guys, as coming to today, I'm going to discuss about the topic called ACL. So in the first day or second day, I think so, I told that there is a topic called ACL. Okay. So today I'm going to elaborate you and I will also explain with one scenario how we are going to implement that in the instance. Okay. So before that, I'm going to explain you the content as well. So how this ACL is going to work in our instance and where we use these ACLs. So we are going to cover entire ACL concept today and with one scenario if time permits. So it will take time, guys. Maybe it may take tomorrow also. So no need to worry about that. So please be active in the session. And if you have any kind of doubts, please let me know in the chat box. Okay. Guys, I think everyone can see the links that I have shared in the Telegram group. I think so. Even I pinned that in the group so that everyone can check that and do the particular modules. Okay. So please try to work on them. And even today, I'm going to explain one more module where the same virtual agent implementation. So previously, if you go for the virtual agent simulator, right, there is no particular called ebook and there is no particular validation, right, over there. So whereas coming to this module today that I'm going to explain, here we need to do that particularly in our instance and we need to validate the task. Okay. So I will cover this particular concept ACL today, and if time permits, we also implement that. Okay, so we will also implement that with a different use case because the understanding of this concept is very important to understand the entire backend use case, how we are going to build, how we are going to give the access for each and every person. Yeah, Gangotri, definitely. So I got it. What you want to eagerly do that for. Okay. So definitely I'm going to explain you how we can create an auto number and how we can create auto number separately without even giving the auto number from the table. Okay. So there are two ways to create an auto number, one from directly table, one from the number maintenance. I will tell you, don't need to worry. Okay. Let me wait for 5 more minutes, guys, because students are still joining so that everyone can continue the topic at the same speed as you are. Okay. Now, a few of the people are asking about what is the topic. Yeah. As coming to today's topic, we are discussing about the ACLs. Okay. Access control list. So I'm going to demonstrate you how that is going to work and how we can create one for our own and what are the different conditions that we have to create an ACL and what is the major things that we look out. So I will tell you each and everything. So let wait for 5 more minutes so that everyone will join the session. Then after we can start working on that. So even though if your friends are not joining in a session, please let them know, guys, that they will also join and they will also continue the working of these concepts. And in the meantime, if you have any kind of doubts regarding the yesterday's topic, please, guys, you can ask me. Like anything needed from my side regarding yesterday's concept. I think everything is clear in the yesterday's concept. I think so because yesterday is the concept that I have explained is data lookup definition, and even I have taken multiple examples over there to create this kind of thing. And I also implemented one scenario in the instance so that everyone can understand. Okay. So yes, please inform your friends if your friends are not joining in the session. Please let them know the session has been started. Then after we can start working on the concept. Yeah, everyone. Very good afternoon. Very good afternoon to each and every person. Thank you for the response in the chat box. Sonia, that is asking for the multi-factor authentication. If that you want to implement that for your instance, you can. Otherwise, you can skip that. Okay. Even you can skip that particular part. So as for now, set up that. Okay. So download any one of the multi authentication app in your mobile. Then you can enter the code so that you can log into your instance. After logging into your instance, what you can do is like just go back to the user menu and try to reset that instance, reset or release that instance so that the multi-factor authentication that you perform to that instance will be removed and you can request for the new instance. Yep, guys, let me wait for 4 more minutes. Then after we will start. So my instance are expired. Gitika, in which you are talking about this thing? Like you are working on the now learning or you are asking about the platform developer instance? Suppose if you are working on the now learning, then what you can do is like you can request for a new instance over there after releasing that instance. So there is no option called release instance. There you will see terminate instance. So you need to click on the terminate instance. Then after you can request for the new instance. Okay. If that's the case for the developer PDI, so what you can do is like directly you can release and reset new instance. That is from the now learning, right? So what you can do is like whatever the course that you want to perform, right? So go to that course, then after you will see terminate instance option over there, terminate instance. So click on that and click on OK. Just wait for 5 to 10 minutes. Then after refresh the page, you will find one more button called request lab instance. So then after click on that, then after you will get a new instance for that. Venkataramana, actually, that I told to the support team, but they told that they will directly reply to you in the mails. They are working on the mails. So I think daily almost 600 to 500 mails are that they are receiving over there. So it will take time, guys. No need to worry. Yes, sir, but in the learning platform now, not wake up the instance. Hmm? I didn't get you, Gangotri. So if you are asking to wake your instance, then you need to wake up your instance. Whenever you're requesting an instance, right, then it automatically won't open that instance. It will take time to load that instance to your platform. So for that, you need to wait for 5 to 10 minutes at least. So what you can do is like just if you are requesting your instance, it will show one pop-up page where you need to wake up that instance. After waking up, it will show a notification like you need to wait for 10 to 20 minutes so that you can access your instance, right? So at that time, what you can do is like simply just go to the previous page where you are opening your now learning. Okay. So if you press tab, then after you can refresh that page after 5 minutes, and then after try to open that instance once again. So guys, don't open the instance multiple time frequently, like directly clicking on that button, request my lab instance. Don't do that, because if you click multiple times request lab instance, what happens is like it will do request multiple instances for you for the same course. So click once and wait for the result. Then after only click once again. Uh, Monica, please check that in the recordings. Okay, so I already explained the solution for that. You can watch the recordings and you can find out that. Okay. So in the validation task in welcome to ServiceNow course is pending or fails. If that is pending, you can complete that first. So I already told that very clearly, guys. Everyone should follow the order. Then after you need to continue. Akila, we will let you know. No problem. Chill. So we will tell you when you are getting the projects and when you need to start working on that. Then after we will discuss that. Okay. So it's perfectly fine. I will also discuss about the projects, and I will also tell you when you can enroll that and when you can start working on that. Okay. So guys, I think most of the people are joined as for now, and even more will join later on. So let them also join. But I will start the session. Okay. So everyone, please give the thumbs up in the chat box so that I can explain the concept. Today's concept, that is ACL, access control list, and what is the major purpose of this and how we can create ACL. Okay. Yep, definitely. Let me go and share my screen. Please, guys, let me know whether you're able to see the screen or not. I think everyone can see the screen. Please say yes or no. Yep, I got few yeses. So guys, as coming to today's topic, that is ACL. Basically, what is this ACL and what that do? So let me go to the slides and let me show you. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the concept called access control list. That may be on the application, that may be on the database. Okay, so here, if you see, that will be controlled on the based on the roles on the different basis. Okay, so different basis. So whereas coming to this ACLs, that can be controlled by the user authentication login. So user authentication login is nothing but the user can access that application or access the data inside that application, that is nothing but a modules, or a group of people can do that, that is nothing but a groups, or a role can give the access to the person so that person can access the table, whatever thing that he can do. Okay, so this part is completed, guys, already for us. And even though second part is also completed, that is application and module access. Okay, even though we completed these two parts, let me explain you once again so that you people can remember how we are going to control user authentication using users, groups, roles, and how we are going to control applications and modules using roles. Okay, so this is the level of access that you need to pick, guys, whenever you are going for the ACL. First, we need to check for the users. Then after, you need to check for the application and modules. Then we need to go to for the database accesses. So whereas coming to this database accesses, that is nothing but tables, records and fields. Okay. And then after you will see one more option is also there here, that is governed by global system properties. And the last one is control access roles. So if you see, whereas coming to this tables, records and fields and global system properties, I already discussed these two already whenever I'm explaining about the application and modules. So how we created that and how we are going to check that is like whenever we created one application, right? In that particular application, I also created few modules in that. So if you see, let me go back to the instance here. So guys, please let me know what is the application name that we created. What is the application name? Everyone, please let me know. What is the application name? Venkatraman, not the table that we created. I'm asking about the application. That's good. That's good. That is XYZ Corps. Okay. So the application that we created is XYZ Corps. So whereas coming to this XYZ Corps, so what I did before creating this application or modules, I have explained you how you can access the data based on the role. Okay, based on the role that may be on the user side, that may be on the group side, that may be on the role basis. Okay, so before creating this application, what we did, we have checked with default roles that are there in our system. So we have checked with standard roles. If you see, whereas coming to the standard roles, I have checked with different roles. Consider that one is ITIL, okay, one is ITIL. Even though I have checked with different roles also, one is um, what is the different roles that I have used guys? Please let me know. So one is ITIL and one more is knowledge admin. Yeah, I got to know. Knowledge admin also we tried, and even we tried impersonator also. So we got the three things, right? So here we got the three roles that are standard roles, but each and every role that has a unique properties, like unique permissions that can be given to that user. Suppose if I'm giving some role called impersonator, then what is the additional advantage that is being given to that user? So that user can impersonate to the other users and check the visibility. Check the visibility of that user. Okay, that is the purpose of impersonated user, right? That is the purpose of an impersonated user. So that's how we are going to check the level of access based on the role by giving that to the user. Suppose if I give that to the group, then it will be directly added to the groups. Okay, so let me go to the users. So if I go to the users, here I have created multiple users, right? I have created multiple users. If you see test user 1, test user 3, test user 4, all these three users and the fourth user also are in the part of a single group. So they are in the part of a single group. So if you see, if I click on this text user 1, I can check what are the roles that are acting to this user, and even I can also see in which group this particular user is belongs to. Okay, this particular user is belongs to ServiceNow admin group. Okay, so the role that is been acting to this person is based on the group, not on the user. Okay, the roles that are acting to this person, that is test user 1, is based on the group. That means the role is assigned to the group, then all the members who are there in that group will also get the same level of access. Okay, so all the members who are there in that group will also get the same level of access. So let me check who are there in this group. So you can see there are three members, test user 1, 2, 3, and each and every person can go with the ITIL role. So this is how we have defined this person deal with the ITIL permissions. So what are the permissions that are there for the ITIL role? So that will be given to the test user 1, test user 2, test user 3. So everything is clear, right? User side, user authentication side. Okay. So this is nothing but a user authentication login. Okay. Whereas coming to this application and module access, that is governed by roles. So here what we did is like I have created one custom role. Okay. I have created one custom role because for each and every standard role, if you see, for each and every standard role, there will be permissions. Okay, there will be a set of permissions that are acting on that. So what I decided, I want to create my own role so that I can restrict the level of access for the application as well as module. Okay, so considering that, what we decided, we created two roles. Okay, so that I have given directly to the application that we created, that is XYZ Corps. Okay, let me click on inlet edit option for that, so we can see the main form of that application. Okay, so here if you go for the role, if you see the role name is XYZ app role. Okay, so here this particular role is helping us to access the application. Okay, that means this role is mandatory for the user. Suppose if that person want to see this application. Okay, what the thing that you want? This role. Suppose test user 1 want to see this application. Is that possible, guys? Suppose test user 1 want to see this application. Is that possible? Please let me know, guys, everyone. As a test user one is having ITIL role. That is all about the incident management, problem management, change management, right? So whereas coming to this particularly, what is this application that we created? So we also created one custom role, right? So I have given that custom role to the application that we created. So what is the major thing that is happening in the backend? Whether the test user one can access this application or not. Everyone, please try to reply, guys. Got the question or not? First, let me know. Everyone got the question? Everyone got the question? No, right? Let me explain. Let me explain you once again. So simple, very simple. Okay. So here we have test user one, right? So let me go with the test user one here. So this person is test user one. Okay. Now I'm in the test user one form. If you see, this test user one is having certain roles. Okay, one is ITIL role and one more is U underscore student underscore user. So whereas coming to this ITIL role is giving such a kind of permission to the test user one, that person can access incident management, change management, problem management. Okay, whereas coming to this U underscore student underscore user, that is helping us to access student table and something related to the student table. Okay, that may be application that is being created using student table, or that may be a module, or that may be any set of permissions that has been given to this role. So everything that is being given to that role will be also provided to the test user one. So now guys, if I try to impersonate, let me go with the impersonation. So whereas coming to this application role, that is XYZ. Whereas coming to the test user one, that person don't have a XYZ role. Okay, XYZ app role. So now if I impersonate to the test user one, what is the result? Whether this person test user one can see the application or not. Oh, no means you are selling that answer, right? I think I consider that the question is not able to get you. Okay, sorry. Okay, fine, guys. That means you are telling correct answer. That person can't even access the application because that person doesn't have a role. Okay, definitely. I got it. I got it. So now everyone got to know, if I impersonate to the test user one also, I can't see that application. Let me search for that XYZ. So let me search my application XYZ. There is no result for that because the application role is not given to the test user one. Okay. Even though test user one can access student table, even though test user one can access student table. So if I search for student, I can see student table and the created application with the student table and plus module. Okay, so if I click on that, I can see the data as well. Okay, this is one level of access. This is nothing but a table level of access. Okay, so we are done with application and module level of access, and here coming to the database access. If we go with the first one, that is table level of access. That is completed, right? So if you go with the second one, governed by global system properties, how we are going to decide this kind of a, sorry, let me open. Where is my PPT? Yes. So if I go with the second one, that is governed by the global system properties, what is this governed by global system properties and how we are going to control an application or table depends on the global properties. Okay. So now let me end the impersonation and let me show you how we are going to decide that whether this application is given to this particular group or not. Okay. So how we are going to decide the properties of that. So whereas coming to the system instance, guys, if you go for the instance, always if you see this particular instance is in the global state. Okay, that particular instance is in the global state. So that you can see in the application picker. So that we have discussed already. So if you see, if I go for the application picker, the first thing that you are seeing here, application scope, that is nothing but a global. Okay, even I can decide different application scope that are already there. Even if I want to create a new application scope, I can create that. But defaultly, as an instance, whenever we are creating that, it is set to be a default one, that is a global. Okay, so if you see, that is a global, right? That means each and everything that is being given for the property has already set to the default system properties for the global. Okay, suppose if I create any application in this particular system, like if I create any particular application in the instance, then that particular application is always going to the global scope, always going to the global scope. I'm not defining any global scope because I want to show this application when I'm in the global scope. Suppose if I want to create an application that should not include this global scope and I want to maintain a private entire scope for that. Okay, private security system for that. I want to maintain a private security system. The entire system should be private for that application. So in such kind of a ways, what we can do is like we can directly create our own application scope. We can directly create our own application scope. In that application scope, we can build the application as per our requirement. So that if you go for the global scope, we can't find our application. Whether as coming to you are in the application scope that you created the application, then you can find that. So how you can change that is like if you click on here, you will see there are different already there. So there are different application scopes already there. So let me click for the AI tech so that I can show you how the difference is been looking like. Okay, so after selecting my AI tech as an application scope, you can see application picker has become red. Application picker color has been changed and you can see one red circle has been came for that particular application picker. Okay, so if I click on that, if you see, even though application scope has been changed to the AI tech, that update set is also being changed to the AI tech. Okay, so even though I'm changing the application scope, but even changing my application scope, it is automatically changing the update set also. It is automatically changing the update set also. So whereas coming to discussion of these two concepts, guys, I will go in detail. But as for now, I will just telling the overview so that you can understand the ACLs very clearly. Okay. So here, if you see, as coming to this particular application scope, what is the main thing that you can go for? AATIC. So the main application scope is created for the AATIC. Now, if I go for the all and search for AATIC, so you can see one application has been there here, AATIC, and if you see, there are plenty of modules has been there for this particular application. Okay, so there will be different set of things that are there that I have created for this application. So as for now, I want to show how the global system properties are going to work for our tables. Okay, so if you choose any different application scope, then we can decide our own system properties for the application scope that we create. Okay, so as for now, I'm going back to the global once again so that I will show and search for the same application whether I'm able to get that or not. Okay, so now I'm in the global scope. Now if I search for the application, If you see, I can see that application, but if I click on any other things, I can't access that. Okay. So it is the general data that is being displayed because we are the admins. Okay. So we are the admins. That's why it is displaying the data. But if this particular application is been given to the different role, then even admin cannot access this particular data. Here, the data that you are seeing here, guys. Okay. So this data is been created by the admin itself. Okay. So this data is been created by the system admin only. That's why we can see this. Suppose if we are creating a custom application scope, so in that we are going to create an application. If we decide that admin should not see the data, then we can restrict that as well. Even admin also can't see the application. Okay, that is possible in the application scope. So let me go with the third one. That is the main thing that we are going to work on. That is access control rules. So here comes our topic, guys, access control rules. So access controls rules are nothing but we are going to control the level of security based on the database accesses. Okay, so here we have three different conditions over there. I will tell you what are the three different conditions and how we can implement that to the different users as well. So I will tell you each and everything, but be patient so that everyone can understand. Okay, so after my explanation, I will give time for you people. You can ask any doubts. Okay, so whereas coming to this access control roles, basically this helps us to control the level of security of a table. That may be a read level of security, write level of security, create level of security, delete level of security. So we have four levels of securities, guys. One is read, one is write, one is create, one is delete. So these four levels of security is being controlled by the access control list. Okay, so let me show you. To create that, we need to first do something. So to create such access control list, we need to do something. What is the thing that we need to do is like we need to elevate our role. Okay, so we need to elevate our role. Why we need to elevate our role? We can't create the ACL directly. So let me show you why we need to create that and what's the thing that is going to happen if we elevate the role. So let me go to the instance. Okay, you all can see the instance, right? Now let me search for the access control list, guys. So if I search for access control list ACL, that's mean, okay, so that particular module is available under system security application. If I click on this particular module, then I can see the list of ACLs for different tables. Okay, if you see there, these are the recent particular tables that we created. These are the recent tables that we created, right? So program data as well as what is this particular table? Matcher program and test demo activity. Even though we can see a lot of other tables if the next page, if I go to the next page of this list, but as for now, if you see all the pages that you are seeing, all the records that you are seeing that are created by the system, that was not created by me. These particular things are created by the system whenever we are creating the table. So I already told that for each and every table, there will be a 4 level of accesses. Okay, one is create, one is write, one is read, one is delete. Okay, so for everything this will be the common thing. Okay, so the first most important thing to get to know about the access control list, we can't create a new ACL if we don't have an elevator option. Okay, here you can see, guys, here you can see we are going to see all the records in the ACLs. If I'm trying to click on this particularly, and if I want to open any record, that is displaying the values in the read-only format. That is displaying the values in the read-only format because we haven't elevated our role. So click on the user menu, you will see option directly elevate role. So if you click on that, it will show you one extra option, extra pop-up over there. In that particularly, it will show a role called security underscore admin. It will show a role called security underscore admin. If I give this particular axis, then it will directly grant additional access. Okay, directly it will grant additional access for the admin so that that person can control the ACLs and work on the ACLs. That means okay. So here you can see the definition itself, it is very clear. So if I enable this security underscore admin role, grant additional access to the high security settings, all users to modify the access control list. So whoever the user it may be, if that person has been having the particular role called security underscore admin, then that person can control the level of access for each and every table. That person can control the level of access for each and every table that are there in our instance. Okay. So to elevate our role, we have very simple steps. Okay. To elevate our role, we have very simple steps. We need to go to the user menu and we need to click on elevate role. Then after click on the checkbox and update. Okay. So let me do that. So previously, when I'm trying to open my record, it is showing in the read-only format. Even though if I'm back in the list of ACLs, list of records in the ACLs, I can't see the new option over here. I can't see the new option over here, so that I can't create a new also. Okay, even though I want to create a new ACL, I can't create that. So if I want to create a new ACL, if I want to create a new ACL, then we need to go. Even though if I want to work on the ACLs, this is the same thing, guys. Okay, we need to go to the user menu and we need to click on the elevate role option. Then after, we need to click on the security underscore admin, so that we are going to grant the additional permissions for the system admin user. Okay, so now you can see, just wait again, just wait guys, 2 minutes. Guys, do wait for some time. I'm going to explain you. Okay, one more time. Let me wait one for 2 minutes. Okay. Guys, please let me know whether the screen is visible for you. I have changed the network. Everyone, please respond to me, guys, whether you're able to see the screen. Yeah, thank you for the response. Yeah, so let me continue the topic. So what I am discussing is like, so to perform this ACL, the access control list, the major role that is required is elevate rule. Okay, so in that particular option, we will see one role, that is system underscore, sorry, security underscore admin. Okay, what is the role that is a security underscore admin. So if we enable that role, so how we are going to enable that role? Let me show you. So I'm going to the instance here, and then after, so let me remove that first so that I will explain once again, so that everyone can see once again. Okay, so to do that, let me go to the user menu. From here, we will see option called elevate role. Okay, everyone can see this option, right? So now we need to click on this so that we are giving the extra permissions for the system administrator. Even though system administrator can't create an ACL or can't edit the ACL, I have already showed that. Let me show it once again. So here, if you see, there are different tables already displayed for you. Okay, these are the custom tables that we created. Okay, so these are the custom tables that we created, right? So if I click on any table record, if I click on any table record, I can't edit the data inside that record. Okay, because this person don't have an access to edit the ACLs. This person don't have an access to edit the ACLs, that is access control list. So to give this set of permission, or even though if you check, there is no new button over here. There is no new button over here. So even though as a system administrator can't create an ACL or can't edit the ACL, can't edit the ACL. So if as a system administrator, we want to create that, what is the role required? That is security underscore admin. The role that is required to get the ACL permission is security underscore admin. So even though when I'm discussing about the roles, I already discussed about this. The security underscore admin is the role that is very important to control the ACLs. Okay. So to do that, we are going to the user menu. Then after, we are clicking on the elevate role. So here you can see, everyone, this is the option that we are going to enable. Okay, so this is the option that we are going to enable. That is security underscore admin. So this particular permission is going to give the additional securities for the administrator work on the ACLs. Okay, so this particular role is basically about the ACLs only. So this particular role helps us to control the ACLs. So after clicking on this update, okay, after enabling that elevator option, so the first change that you have observed here, there will be a red circle on the profile. There will be a red circle on the profile, even though you will see one arrow that is pointing on the upwards. Okay, so that is pointing the direction on the upwards, and the banner color has been changed to the red. Okay, you will see one banner line indicating the red color. So if the same thing occurs, but the same thing is also occurs when you impersonate the user, but what is the difference is like, here you can see there is an up arrow, right? So one arrow is pointing upwards, right? Whereas coming to the impersonate user, suppose if you are impersonating to any other user, we will see eye icon over there. So we will see eye icon over there. Okay, instead of this arrow that is pointing upwards, we will see different icon over there, that is eye. Okay, so these how we are going to identify we are working on the ACLs. Okay, so after enabling this particular elevate, sorry guys. So after enabling this elevator option, then the main thing that we observed one more thing. Is like, we can see new option over here so that we can create a new ACL. Okay, we got to know we have an extra option that is new so that we can create an ACL. And even though we can see a lot of extra options for the specific operation. So if you go for the any type of a record for any table, now we can edit that. Okay, now we can edit that particular operation that is already there. Even though if we want to create the new one, we can create that, we can edit the existing one, we can update that, and we can delete the existing also. Okay, so these are the changes that we are going to see whenever we are elevating our role. Okay, so now let me go with the next PPT, guys. So I already discussed about this. Basically, access controls is the security rules defined to restrict the permissions for the user from viewing and interacting with the data. So it executed when impacting to access any ServiceNow table on maybe a set of them. Okay, so basically we are going to control the read level of access or create level of access, write level of access, that maybe we call as an update. Okay, so in a simple terms that you want to remember this access controls. So basically why these access controls do, what this particular access control do. So basically access control rules helps us to restrict the level of access of a table. That is nothing but a CRUD operation. That is nothing but a CRUD operation. Simple. Create, read, write. That means update, delete. Okay. So whereas coming to the ACL, we can control the level of access of a table. That may be both rows and columns, or that may be a row, that may be a column. Okay. So we can control depends on our use case. Okay. So we can control a single column that should be displayed to the user, or we can control a single row that should be displayed to the user, and we can decide both the things, and we can decide either of the thing also. Okay, so this is the nothing but access control list. Okay, so if you want to navigate to that particularly, so we need to search for the system security. Under that you will see specific module that is with the name access control. So ACL we call that as, okay, access control list. So we need to click on that so that we can navigate to the access control state. So there itself we are going to see all the ACLs for each and every table in our instance. Okay, so if you go for the next things, so that is directly indicating for each and every table's configurations. Okay, each and every table configuration. So here, if you see, guys, here if you see, it is showing something. It is showing something. What it is showing, guys? It is showing, if you search for the table name dot config, if you search for the table name dot config, we are going to see all the securities that has been applied to that particular table, and all the data configurations that are applied to that particular table, and all the notifications that are applied to that particular table, all the automations that are applied to that particular table. So by this defining the table name dot config, we are going to look after automations, dictionary configurations, dictionary overrides, notifications, UI actions, access controls. So even though if there is another thing that is acting on the table, that is also will be displayed over there. So now let me search for this, guys. Let me search for this table name dot config. So let me show you for a single table how that has been represented, how we can see that. Okay. So we already decided to work on the student table. So let me search for the student. Dot, what is the thing that I need to search for? Config. Okay. Open it. So here you got to see all the different type of configurations that are applied to this table. They apply to this table. Whereas coming to the business rules, there are no business rules for this table. There are no client scripts. There are 21 dictionary entries. There are 21 dictionary entries that are nothing but fields, guys. Okay, entries are nothing but fields. Dictionary entries are nothing but fields. There are 21 fields in our table. If you see, there are no overrides that are written on this table, and there are no notifications, no UI actions, access controls are this many. So for each and every specific fields also, I told that there will be some set of things that we can control. Okay. So these are the different access controls that are created. So basically for only student, if you see, for only student, we need to check for the first four. Okay. We need to check for the first four. The rest of the ACLs that are displayed over here that are with a different condition. Okay. If you see, that are checking for different conditions over here. Okay. So next go for the UA policy, data policy, styles, UA rules, flows, so that are not acting on this table. Okay. So that's how we are going to check what are the permissions that are acting on this particular table. Okay, guys, got it? Clear? Anyone do have any doubts? Any doubts, guys, until now? Kavya, please don't share these kind of things. Can you explain the fourth level of security? What is this fourth level of security? Okay, four level of securities for the ACL that are CRUD operations. CRUD operations. Create, read, update, delete. Create, read, update, delete. Whereas coming to the create, we can create a new record. That means we can see the new option over there for every table. If you go for the list of records of a table, we will see new option over there, right? That is nothing but a create option. Okay. So whereas coming to the read, that means we are going to see the existing records or we are going to read the existing records. Okay. The read is the main important option or main important ACL that may important CRUD operation that we need to give for each and every user, guys. If you are not giving this particular read operation, then consider that we are not going to see that. Okay. Even though if you create in a new record, we need to see that, right? We need to see that record, whether that record has been created or not. So that is very important, guys, whenever you are working on the read operation. Okay. Even goes with the edit operation also, the read is required. Even goes with the delete operation also, read is required. So for every operation, edit, create, delete, the first thing that we need to give for the user is read. Yes, Sonia, definitely. So we are working on that. Okay. So you people can understand very easily with an example. Okay. So now people see there are multiple ACLs that are already created here. So now let me work on this particular activities. Oh, let me go with the simple one. Okay. So I'm not going to work on the activities. Let me go with the less fields table so that we can perform all the activities. If I go with the faculty, that is fine. So if I go with the faculty, I can see only 5 fields, guys. Okay, so that means there is not much difference to create a different ACLs. I can perform that operations in the single ACLs. Okay. So whereas coming to the creation of a particular ACL, this is the process we need to do, guys. So we need to see the operation keeping and we need to select the object. That means we need to define the table and the fields that are required for that. Okay. Then after we are going to define the permissions. That may be a roles, that may be conditional expressions, that may be scripts. Okay, so we can set a permissions for the ACL that we are going to create. Depends on the role, depends on the conditional expression, depends on the script. Everything is fine. Okay. So whereas coming to the next main thing that we need to know. So what are the different kind of objectives that we can give for the role access controls? Okay. So what are the different role types that we are going to give? So whereas coming to the first one, that is table.none, and whereas coming to the second one, that is table.field, and whereas coming to the third one, table.start. Okay, so these are the three different operations that we can perform on the ACLs. Okay, so whereas coming to this table.none, okay, so whereas coming to this table.none, consider that I'm not going to view the table role for the user. Okay, I'm not going to give the table role for the user, but that person should need to access the table. That person should need to access the table. Then what I can do, guys? Then what I can do, instead of giving the table role, I will give table.none as an ACL operation. Then I will give the read level of access and I will directly assign the role. So whatever the role that I'm assigning over there, that person can directly access the table. That person can access the table. So how I am doing that, and let me show you how we are going to work on that as well. Okay. So here, if you see, I want to work on the faculty table, guys, because there are less fields in that, so that I can create less ACLs to control all the fields. Okay. So if I go for the faculty, then let me check with the test user one. Okay, let me check with the test user one whether test user one can access the faculty or not. Then after, I will create an ACL without giving the table role so that that person can directly access the table. Okay, now I'm searching for the particular table called faculty. Okay, so if I search for my table faculty, I can't find that. Okay, because I haven't shared the access. I can search for student because I have given the student, right? So student table role has been already given to the test user one, but whereas coming to the faculty, that is not been given to the test user one. So here, what I'm doing is like even though if I'm searching with the name that I have mentioned over there, that is not displaying, right? Let me search with the APA name also. So let me search with the APA name also. That is u underscore faculty dot list. So it is directly showing me there is no permissions to see this particular list of records for you. Okay. So now what I'm doing is like I'm going to perform the first operation in the ACL, that is table.none, guys. Okay. I'm going to perform the first operation, that is table.none. Okay. So whereas coming to the user, test user one, that person is having the ITIL role. If you observe, that person is having the ITIL role, right? So let me go to the roles and let me create one role here so that you people can understand very easily. Click on new. So here I'm working on the ACLs, right? ACL none role. Okay. So I have defined that role name as ACL none role. So whoever the person having this role, that is going to access the level of access that I'm going to decide over there. Okay. So let me click on submit. So now I'm going to the access control. Okay. Access control, that is ACL. Click on that. Now here you can see all the ACLs, right? But we need to work on the faculty, right? We are working on the faculty. Let me search for that table. So u underscore, sorry, u underscore faculty. So this is the table that we want to work on. So here there are already four ACLs that are created, guys. There are already four ACLs that are created with the operation that I want to give. That is table.none. Okay, table.none. If you want to see that, let me show you. So I am selecting the second operation, that is read, because that is very important whenever we want to give any additional operation for the ACL, that to the role. Okay, let me click on the faculty on the read operation. If you see, guys, the default operation that is been given to this particular faculty is table faculty dot none. Faculty dot none. Okay, faculty dot none. And the role that is given to this particular ACL is u underscore faculty underscore user. Okay, suppose the role that I have created just now, that role people should want to access the stable on the read level of access, then I can directly insert a role over here. I can directly insert a role over here so that that person can access, the table on the read level of access. That means that person can't create a new record, that person can't edit that record, and that person can't delete the record. Okay, so now I can directly insert a new role over here so that I can give this permission. Okay, give this permission. The operation is read, and the table name is faculty, and the type is, that means ACL type is none. Okay, so you all see that definition, right? If I give table.none, then no specific field selected. This rule applies to the whole table, including all its records. Okay, that means the role that we are giving. Okay, so the role that we are giving in that particular ACL, that role people can access this entire table, even though all the records also will be shared to that particular table. Okay, so now let me give this role here. Let me save it. Click on save. Click on update. Now what I did, I have given the role to the existing ACL, okay, to the existing ACL, that to a read level of access. Now what I am doing is like, so I'm giving the same role that I have created to the test user one. So I'm giving the same role to the test user one. So let me give that history when the test user record. Click on it. So if I go to the roles, if you see there are multiple roles that are given to this person, that is nothing but ITAL as well as student and impersonator. Okay. So now let me search for my role, that is access none role. Okay. So give that to the person. Okay. So now I have given the role that I have created to the test user one. Click on save and update it. Now everyone please tell me, guys. Now everyone please tell me. Screen is freezed. Guys, I think everyone can see the screen clearly because my network is also good. Yeah, it's clear, right? So now my question is like, guys, my question is whatever the role that I have created. So let me write it over here in the new page itself so that everyone can understand. Let me go to the docs. Create one doc over here. New one, blank. So here, what I did, guys, I have created one role. So I have created one role. That role name is access. Oops, let me tap on this. Access. Role name is ACL none role. Okay. So for this role, okay, for this role, I am directly giving that to the test user one. So I'm giving this role to the test user one. Where this particular role having a permission to see the faculty table. Okay, faculty table. Okay, so now guys, please tell me whether if I impersonate to the test user one, so this is the thing that I have done in the instance. This is the thing that I have performed in my instance. So now if I go to the instance and if I directly impersonate to the test user one, if I search for the faculty table, the list of records for the faculty table, then whether I can see that or not. Please let me know whether I'm able to see that or not. Everyone please try to reply. Whether test user one can able to see the records or not. Yeah, you people are confirming that that person can see the records. We will test that, guys. We will test that. Okay. Let me go to the, where is my instance? Yeah, here is my instance. Yep. Let me go to the impersonate user and test user one. So where is my test user one? Here is my test user one. Click on impersonate user. So if I search for the faculty, then that person should see the faculty list of records, but that person do have only read level of access. That means he can't create the new record, he can't edit the existing records, or he can't even delete that record. Okay, so let me search for that faculty. So if I search for the faculty, I can't see that. If I search for the faculty, I can't see that. The faculty name here, email, or some values. Okay. So if you see, I'm going to see all the records data, right? If I want to try to edit that, it is directly rejecting me to edit that particular record. Okay. So that is nothing but I don't have a write level of access and I don't have a create level of access. Suppose if I want to delete that record, so let me open any one of the record. So there is no button called delete here. There is no button for me to read this record. Okay. This how we are going to work on the table.none. That is nothing but ACL, table level of access. Okay. So whenever, if any scenario comes for you, right? So we won't directly give the table role, guys. So we won't directly give the table role for the user. Level of access for that user based on our scenario. Okay. So now let me give some other options and let me show you like create level of access, write level of access, delete level of access. Ending the impersonation. Here, going to the same thing, ACL's access control list. Search for our table, you_faculty faculty. So previously, I have assigned this particular role that I have created only to the read, only to the read level of access to the table. So now what I'm doing is like, I'm giving that for the create. So guys, here I want to tell you one more thing. Here I want to tell you one more thing. So previously what I did, I have given that role that I have created to the default ACLs that are there for the table. So default ACLs that are there for the table, I have given the role. So suppose if I want to create a new ACL as per my own, okay, in that particularly, I'm going to decide this particular faculty table should need to get the create level of access for the table for the particular role that we create. So for that, click on new. So I can directly give that using the first option, guys. I can directly edit that record and I can insert that role that I have created. But instead of that doing that, I can do create a new record also. I can do create a new record also. So whereas coming to the operation that is create, so that is already defaultly set. And if I go for the table, that is u_faculty. And the operation that I want to implement over here is none. I can decide the condition, that is conditional expression. And if I want to insert a role directly, I can do that. Or if I want to do the script, I can do that also. Okay. So after saving the record, I can see the script option. I can do that. Okay. So here the role that we created is ACL role. So click on adding that. So if I click on submit, Now, this role that I have given to the test user one, that person do have an additional access. That person do have an additional access. Okay. Huh? నాకు రాదు రావడం. Sorry everyone. Sorry. Where the screen is been displayed. Sorry, where the screen is been freezed, guys. At the which point of time that was freezed? Let me explain from that point of time. Everyone got the first level of access done. So I have shown the test user one, right? So I have displayed the test user one is been given with the read level of access. That is done. Test user one given the read level of access. Then after I have also displayed that records for the test user one. So okay, it got stacked in the impersonate user test user one. Then the screen is freezed. Okay, let me explain you from there. So what I did is, guys. So what I have. Sir, while you're searching for the faculty table, it was dropped. Yeah. Okay, Nandu. Thank you for the response. So, guys, what I did is like, so after that, I have created one ACL here. So the creation of ACL is very simple. Let me show you once again. So here we have an option called new. Click on that. Then after, I have decided to create a new ACL instead of using the existing one. Instead of using the existing one, I chose to create the new one. So then after, I need to decide the type operation for that ACL. So after the creation of read level of access, then I have decided that that particular user should also create the record. Okay. So after that, I'm going to show you guys. After that particular this, I'm going to show you how this particular person is able to create the record and the existing records has been there for the user. That is nothing but a read level of access. Okay. So here in the creation part, here we need to mention the objective. That is nothing but here we need to mention the table name. Then after here the operation. So here the operation is table dot none. That is nothing but the ACL type. Okay. So we have three different types ACL. So table dot none, table dot star, table dot field. So we are working on the first type, that is table dot none. Okay. So in that particularly, so there are four ACLs that are defaultly created for the table, right? So I have selected the read level of access for that, and I have given the role in that only. So I haven't created the new one. So then after what I did, I have created the new ACL. Instead of giving that to the existing one, I have created the new one. Here I have selected the table. So for that, I need to search for the table. Then after I need to define the ACL type, that is none. Okay. So then after I need to insert the role. So that is ACL. Okay, so this is the thing that I have explained you after the thing that I have impersonated the user. Okay, so this thing I already created, so I'm not submitting that once again. So I'm going back. So here you can see the record has been created. The same level of access here, you can see the create and create is the access level that has been given to the table. So if I want to give that particular role to the create level of access, then I can directly use the existing one also, guys. I can directly use the existing one also. But instead of that, I want to show the new way, right? I want to show the new ways so that you can create a ACL on your own. So instead of creating in the existing one, I did using the new option, created the new ACL. So here I have decided the create operation. Then after the objective is been defined and the role is also will be defined and updated that. Okay. So previously I have edited the existing record. So previously I have edited the existing record. This is the existing record. So that is read level of access. If I go for the read level of access in the faculty table, So you can see there are two roles. Okay, there are two roles. But whereas coming to the create, there are two roles, but in the different record formats. So if you see for the first one, I can see only the ACL role. If you go for the second one, I can see only the table role. I can see only table role. So now let me impersonate to the test user one, and I will show you what is the difference that you're going to observe. So I haven't given the right level of access as well as delete level of access here. I haven't given the right level of access as well as delete level of access. So I will show you guys how these two level of access are not represented over there and what are the ratio to other level of access that are going to represent over there for the test user one. So now let me impersonate the test user one, impersonate the user and search for test user one. Click on the impersonate user. Okay, so now let me search for my table. So I can't search directly in the filter navigation with the table name because I haven't given the table role. So if I give the table role, what happens? So whatever the things that are given to the table role, all the things will be provided to the test user one. So that is not good thing to do. So instead of that, what I did, I have given only the table role. So I need to search with the API name of the table to access the table. Okay, so table dot name dot list, so that I can see the list of records. So previously, guys, I can see only the list of records. I can't see the new button because I haven't created the ACL button. I haven't created the ACL for create option. So now if you see, I can create a new ACL, sorry, new create, I can create a new record, the faculty, and I can see the existing records. But I can't edit that record. So if you see, I'm double clicking on that, it is directly rejecting me to edit the record. Okay, so that means I can't edit the record. Okay, so if you go for the new option, I can create the records. That means we haven't given options for this test user to work on edit and to work on deleting the record. So this person can create and this person can read the record. Okay, so even though the fields are not visible to this person, all are in the read-only format because it is given in the read-only format. Okay. Now let me go back. Let me go back to the end impersonation and let me give the same rule for all the four ACLs, and I'm going to delete the existing ACL, guys. Okay, so the ACL that I have created, I'm going to delete that and I'm going to give all the ACLs to the four ACLs that are there for right. So for that four ACLs, I'm going to give the same rule that we created. Okay, so let me go for ACLs. So guys, now what I'm doing is like I'm going to ACLs and I'm going to give the role that I have created to the each and every operation that is being created with the table. Okay, I'm going to delete the existing ACL that I have created also. Search for the ACL, access control, click on it and search for my table, that is faculty. Okay, so the one that I have created is the first one. Let me delete this first. So then after I want to give the same role for all the roles. Okay, so all the ACLs that are there here. So I already given that to the read level of access. Let me give to the create read and let me give that to the write. Let me give that to the delete as well. Okay, so opening the existing record and I'm going to add the role over here. ACL is the role and save and update. Okay, so then after we are working on the write The same role that I have created, I'm going to give for this as well. Save, update. Next goes with the last one, that is delete operation. So same level of role I'm going to give here as well. Click on update. Okay. So now you people tell me, guys. So now you people tell me. So previously this is the scenario, right? So previously this was the scenario. So I'm giving this particular table to see, and then after I have given that particular table to create as well. Okay. So the level of access has been changed for this to create. Okay. So that means test user one can read and create. Okay. Test user one can read, create. Okay, so these are the two level of access that we have performed previously. But now what I have decided is like, so I want to give the all the operations that are there. So I want to give all the operations that are there for the table. Guys, please check with my voice whether you're able to hear me or not. Yeah. So now please tell me what is the level of access that is being controlled by the test user one. So I have given that the ACL role that I have created, right? ACL none role. So that I have given to the each and every level of access for the table. So that is create, read, write, and delete. So what is the level of access that is being given to the test user one? If I go and impersonate to the test user one, what is the level of access that person can see? Everyone, please reply. So let me explain you once again. Okay. So here previously we have assigned only that operations to read as well as create, right? Now I'm going to assign that particular role to the rest two other operations also. That is create and that is update and delete. So now as a test user one, what is the level of access that can be controlled to the user? Yeah, let me write down here. So previously there is only access for the test user one as read and create, right? Now the role that I have created, ACL none role, so that has been already assigned to the test user one. So I'm going to give extra permissions for the role. Okay. So what are the extra permissions here? What are the extra permissions here? There are two: update, that means write, and the last one is to delete. Now, everyone, please tell me what is the level of access that can be controlled by the test user one. So whether that person can only see the record or that person only can create the record or update also delete also will be added to that person. So now tell me what is the level of access that can be controlled by the test user one. So whether that person can see the record, edit the record, delete the record, or create the record. So everyone, please confirm that you are able to hear my voice or not. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. So, whereas coming to the topic that we are discussing, so I have assigned the same role for the four different operations, that is create, read, update, delete. So let me show you how that is going to be impacted on the user. So I'm going to impersonate the test user one. Then after I will show you these four level of access already given to the test user one, and what is the exact thing that person can see. Okay. So now going to the user menu and click on the impersonate user. Here we are going to test user one. So let me search for the table, guys. Okay. So that is faculty table. So I need to search with the API name so that I can see the list of records, right? Faculty dot list. So now you all can see, right? So this person can view the records, that means see the records, and this person can create the records. The new button has been populated over here. That means this person can create the record. So even though previously the person can't edit the records, now this person can edit the records. Okay, this person can edit the records. If you see the here, I'm editing the records that are already created by the system administrator. Let me save this. Then after the last operation that we have assigned to the user is delete. Okay, so even let me go with the existing record once again. So here, if you observe, we have an option called delete as well. Okay, so these are the four level of accesses that we can control using the first first ACL type, that is table.none. So whereas coming to the table.field and table.star, we will discuss that in tomorrow's class, guys. Okay. So as coming to the errors, some people are asking in the Q&A. So let me solve that. The complete. Some chart the now. So whenever you're validating your task, right, the person Harshita. So what you need to do is like you need to request the lab instance first. So here you will see the option request lab instance. Click on that. You need to open that instance. Then after go to the user menu. So now I have been showing you, right, how we can impersonate the user as a test user one. In the same way, you need to navigate to the platform user, and then after you need to perform the task. So that is been there in the task instructions. So after that you can validate the task. Okay. Yeah, let me show the slide once again. So this is a slide, guys. In this particularly, we have discussed about the table.none as for today. So we are going to discuss table.field and table.star in the tomorrow's class. So any doubts regarding today's class, guys? Please let me know. Arun is asking something. You only read and create operations and explain once again, sir. Yeah, let me remove the operations that I have assigned to the user. So that is based on the role, guys. So I'm not working on the user, I'm working on the role. So always remember, whenever you are dealing with the ACLs, we always deal with the roles, not the users. Okay. So let me go back to the system administrator profile, click on end impersonation. So we have worked on the four different operations, right? So now I need to give only two. So that is create and read. So the read is the necessary one, because if you go for the any other thing, the main thing that you need to see for the table is read level of access. Okay. So let me go for the ACLs once again. Access, control, click on it. So whereas coming to the first scenario, we have given only the create and read level of access, right? So that means we need to remove the accesses from rest of the two operations. Okay. That are write and delete. So let me open the records and remove the role. Update. So the same thing I'm going to do with the delete operation as well. So open the record for the faculty table. So remove the ACL none role. Okay. So now you people tell me, guys, what is the level of access that can be given to the test user one? So what is the level of access that is given to the test user one? That is read and create. That means that person can see the records that are existing records, and that person can create the record. So now let me show you once again how that is been going to perform as a test user one. So let me impersonate the user. So I'm now logging into the test user one and search for our table. Okay, so let me go to the all and search for my table with the API name dot list. So here you can see I can see only the existing records. Okay, so all the records that are created for this particular table, I can see all the records. If I want to edit that record, that is not possible. So that is not possible. And I can create the new record. I can't delete the record. So if I open any existing record to delete that, so there is no buttons here. So I can't update it. I can't delete it. Okay. So if I want to create the record, I can do that. So if I click on new, I can create the record. But here I can't even enter the data also because there is no right level of access. Okay. There is no right level of access. So there will be certain conditions, guys, whenever you are giving certain operations. So the things that are required. So I will write it down here. Suppose if the user want to see the records, that means read is fine. Okay. To see. So to see the data, that level of access that is required is read. Okay. So to edit that record, the level of access that is required is to edit the data. So here the operations that are required to give the user is read as well as write. Two things are required here. So whereas coming to the create, so here also multiple things are required. The first thing is read. The second thing is write. And the third thing is create. Okay. So whereas coming to the last one, delete. So the main thing is read. Then after delete. Okay. So these are the level of accesses that we need to give to the user to control each and everything. Suppose if we want to give the create option properly, then we need to also give write level of access and read level of access. So if we want to delete the record, there is no level of access that is required regarding read. Okay. If we want to edit the records, then we can directly give read and write. Okay. So this how we are going to decide the level of access for the user. Yeah, Gangotri, definitely I'm going to explain that tomorrow. No problem. So tomorrow at the first starting of the session, please remember that. So I'm going to start with that itself. Okay. So as for now, we don't have enough time. So let me discuss the rest thing, that is now learning platform. We need to complete that module also, right? So whatever the module that you people need to complete today. So let me explain that. So let me share the link first of all, guys. Everyone, please check with the link, guys. So I have shared the course link that you people need to complete for today. So this is also exactly like a welcome to ServiceNow, but this is for the virtual agent. Okay. So here also you people need to complete the task and you need to validate that. Okay. So as for now, let me explain that for the simple first one. We already completed off of the course. So here we need to request the lab. Okay. Here we need to request the lab. Then after, if you go for any kind of a course task that you want to complete here, it will directly show the task that should be completed. So what you can do is like directly click on validate. Okay. So how you need to do that? So let me show for this one. That is in the in progress state, right? So if you click on validate directly, it will give the option for you to work on this. Okay. So it is throwing the error over here, right? So let me click on this error. So if I click on this error, what happens is like it will directly help me to go with the documentation of the task. Okay, so it will give the exact solution that you need to perform on the requested lab instance. Then you need to complete that. Okay, so everyone, please do like this only for this particular course because this particular course don't have a steps properly. So if you see, there is no steps over here. It is directly telling that create a new sample entity. Okay, and then after it is directly telling you to create a last one entity. Okay, so these are the two tasks that you need to complete over here. So to perform this task, you need to have a solution, right? So for the solution, you can directly click on validate, and after it will provide an error. If you click on that error, it will directly show the documentation of that particular task. Okay, so please log into documentation. Then after you can perform the task in the instance and validate it. Okay, so everyone, please check with this particular course. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to share this course link in the Telegram group also, guys. No need to worry. So the completion of the course for particular course, this course only. So you need to go with the documentation because there are no proper steps for this. Vinaya, if you go for the if you go for the Telegram group, right, it is already pinned. You can check that in the pinned comments. All the courses links already shared in the pinned comments. Sir, we have received the mail from SmartBridge. What can I do? So that is for the smart interns. Okay, so you need to access the portal smart interns. From there, we will going to track the student. Krishnaveni, what is the error? Yeah, so for some modules, there will be a prerequisites. For that also, I have shared the links, guys. Please check that. Okay. So if you are working on the virtual agent simulator, there are three modules that you people need to complete before that accessing particular virtual agent simulator. Okay. So what is the topic name? The topic name is ACL, Access Control List. Yeah, yeah, Sonia. Guys, please don't try to work on that using mobile. Okay, so try to work on that using laptop so that it will help you to work on the tasks. Hello. Everyone, please check the Telegram group. So every link that I have posted in the Q&A or in the chat, that is already there in the Telegram group. Okay, so you can check that in the pinned comments. Each and every course link that I'm sharing in the Meet, that is already been shared in the Telegram group. So guys, if you have any kind of doubts regarding the topic that I have explained today, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can leave the session. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. Pavani, directly mail that to the teamsip@smartbridge.com. So there are the support mails taken care of. Okay, so they will help you. Yes, Sonia, after seeing that, you will see, right? All the different courses are there here. Virtual agent implementation and virtual agent fundamentals. And one more course is there. That is natural language. Okay. So each and every course that should be completed, then only you can access the virtual agent simulator. Okay. So please complete this first. Then after you can directly access the virtual agent simulator.